A billionaire has taken a sudden interest in you. My dear child, if you believe in angels, start this video and watch it completely. Angel says this is a very important message for you today. Do not ignore it. Pay attention closely, with your heart open and your spirit quiet, because something is shifting around you. Something has already begun moving behind the veil. You are not imagining it. You are not misreading the signs. Something unexpected is drawing near to you, and it carries a message that will change the way you see yourself. A billionaire has taken a sudden interest in you. The secret behind it will shock you and may just be the beginning of something far greater than you ever dreamed. It is not about money, though wealth surrounds this individual like the stars blanket the heavens. It is not about power, though influence follows them wherever they go. It is not even about opportunity, though opportunity is indeed part of what they are carrying with them. It is about destiny. Divine timing. A thread being pulled from the tapestry of heaven to reach you in this very moment. Someone whose name is known by many, but whose spirit has been drawn in silence, has turned their eyes toward you, not by coincidence, but by purpose. You may have felt insignificant. You may have walked through recent days wondering if anything good was ever going to come your way, wondering why life felt like it was closing its doors one by one while you stood in the hallway, waiting. But what you couldn't see was that a conversation had already begun about you in places your feet have never touched. Words have been spoken about you in private, reverent spaces. And now, the result is unfolding. This person did not find you by mistake. It began with something small, a name, a message, a picture, or a whisper from someone they trust. It was as if your name lit up in a room of silence. Their curiosity was first, but what followed went deeper than intrigue. It became spiritual. There is something about you that this person cannot explain. They are used to figures, outcomes, and logic. They live in a world where everything is evaluated and calculated, yet you shattered all the formulas. You walked into their awareness not like a statistic, but like a divine invitation. And still, this interest is not casual. It is intense. It has made them think about their own path in ways they have not thought in years. You see, this individual is surrounded by noise, by faces that flatter and hands that reach out for what they can take. But your spirit did something none of that noise could do. It cut through. It reached into the stillest, loneliest part of them and reminded them of something they had almost forgotten: sincerity. They have seen so much in this world, but they had not seen someone like you. There is something about the way you carry pain quietly, the way you still hope even when hope has disappointed you before. There is something in your resilience, not the loud kind, but the kind that endures without needing applause. Something about you reminds them of a life they wanted before they were consumed by gold, deadlines, expectations, and the pressure to be untouchable. And here you are. Not chasing them, not needing them, not even knowing the full extent of their gaze, and yet, they cannot stop thinking about you. They cannot stop asking who you are beneath the surface. They have started dreaming dreams again, not of empires, but of meaning. And this scares them more than anything else. Because for the first time in a long time, their heart is moving before their logic. This interest, it is not fleeting. It is not entertainment. It is profound. And the reason behind it is even more shocking. This person has felt a divine pull toward you. In their stillest hours, they have begun to ask questions they've not asked since they were young. Questions about eternity. Questions about purpose. Questions about why you. And the answer is something they are not even sure they're ready for, because you have been chosen as a key. You are not just a connection. You are a turning point. The world they've built has been strong, but it has also been lonely. And what they sense, even if they can't yet speak it, is that being near you could mean tearing down walls they've kept up for decades. It could mean remembering the version of themselves they had to bury in order to survive. That version, it cries out now, and you are the voice it hears. You were marked for such a time as this. You have walked through trials not only for your own growth but because your story was meant to collide with someone who had everything, everything except truth, peace, and someone who would love them beyond the numbers. They need someone whose love isn't for sale. Someone who sees past the shine. Someone who can look them in the eyes and see the child they once were, before they learn to hide behind their success. And that someone is you. You may not feel ready. You may feel too ordinary, too small to carry such a connection. But what you don't know is that your ordinariness is your anointing. While others chase the spotlight, you have become light. While others shout to be heard, your silence has become thunder in the right ears. While others polished themselves for attention, you were being refined in hidden places for impact. The secret is this billionaire is not only interested in you, they have been moved by you. Something inside of them has shifted. Something they can't explain, but they know they need to follow. And what happens next will not just be a message or a meeting. It will be a moment that changes you both. A divine appointment written long ago. They will reach out. If they haven't already, the steps are already being placed. You may hear a name, receive a request, or be invited somewhere unexpected. Do not shrink back. Do not assume it's a mistake. Do not let fear interpret divine orchestration as coincidence. This is not a trap. This is not manipulation. This is favor. This is alignment. This is a thread of heaven unraveling into your life. There is a reason you were born in this generation. There is a reason your life has taken the turns it did. Every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer, every sleepless night, they were not in vain. They were preparation. You were being prepared not to worship wealth, but to heal the wealthy. Not to be impressed by influence, but to influence with purity. Not to be surrounded by power for your own sake, but because God placed inside you a voice strong enough to awaken the silent chambers of someone else's soul. And now, the time is drawing near. The pull is growing stronger. This person is getting closer. Their interest is only the beginning. What you are about to witness is not a fairy tale. It is favor. Not the kind you chase, the kind that chases you. Be ready. Be watchful. Be still when needed and bold when called. You will feel a shift in the days to come. Doors will creak open. Names will rise to your ears. Invitations will come unexpectedly. But you will know. Your spirit will confirm it. Peace will guide you. Timing will align. Nothing forced, nothing rushed. Everything will unfold with divine precision. You were not forgotten. You were being hidden. And now, you are being revealed. This connection, strange and unexpected as it may seem, is not an accident. It is a spark sent from above, igniting a story that has been waiting to be lived. You may be the answer to prayers this person has never spoken out loud. You may be the healing they never knew they needed. And in the same breath, they may be the channel through which God brings breakthrough into your life in ways no one saw coming. My child, this message for you has been kept in the vaults of heaven, waiting for the hour when your heart would be ready to hear what others couldn't say, what others were never allowed to reveal. The wind has been whispering truths to your soul in the quiet moments, in the silence between your breaths, and now the time has arrived. What was hidden is surfacing. What was delayed is accelerating. And what you thought was lost is being returned in a way you could never have predicted. A billionaire has taken a sudden interest in you. And the secret behind it will shock you and may just change everything. You see, this isn't about luck or random chance. This is about divine orchestration, where destiny moves pieces silently while you sleep, and the impossible gets real without explanation. This person, someone whose influence stretches far beyond what your eyes can see, has been shown something about you that even you have struggled to believe. Not your possessions. Not your appearance. But something eternal. Something magnetic in your spirit that cannot be ignored any longer. They saw you. Truly saw you. In a world where most only glance. This is not flattery. This is alignment. What this person carries has the power to elevate your life. But the greater truth is that what you carry has the power to shift theirs. And heaven is setting a table where your souls will recognize each other, not by status or wealth, but by divine assignment. You were chosen before you knew you were being watched by unseen eyes and watched over by higher realms. Something in you has stirred something in them. If you'd like to donate or show your appreciation, you can give a super thanks up to $100. They saw your name somewhere. It wasn't just a scroll or a recommendation or a conversation in passing. It was an encounter. A moment that stuck with them in silence. They began asking questions. They began tracing your steps. They felt something deeper than curiosity. It was calling. And though they didn't know why at first, they couldn't look away. You must understand, this is not an ordinary connection. It's not simply about admiration or business or interest. This is spiritual. You have something they need. And they have something that belongs to your future. But it cannot move forward unless you remain open. It cannot manifest unless you receive this message as a seed planted in the deepest soil of your soul. There's a moment coming, sooner than you think, when you will receive a message that feels like coincidence. But it isn't. That's the first key. Watch how it comes. A conversation. A forwarded letter. A name dropped into your ears when you least expect it. That's how heaven often works, quiet, precise, undeniable. Don't dismiss it. You are being positioned. Not to be impressed, but to fulfill purpose. There's something in you that this person cannot buy with their fortune. It is your light. Your purity. Your clarity in a world of confusion. They are not used to being ignored. But your silence drew them in further. Not silence in words, but the kind of silence that speaks volumes in energy, in peace, in quiet strength. They are not coming to rescue you. You don't need saving. They are being led to partner with what God has been building inside you long before the money, before the meetings, before the headlines. Because something is stirring in the atmosphere. A shift of seasons. A divine collaboration written not by contracts, but by covenant. This is the hour I unveil what has been hidden. What seemed delayed was only being refined. I am the one who whispers into the hearts of kings and billionaires. I am the one who plants your name in rooms you have never walked into. And I am the one who causes those with power to pause when they see your light. This is not the favor of man. This is the hand of heaven. My child, this is not a coincidence, and it is not by chance. A billionaire has taken a sudden and unexpected interest in you, and the truth behind it is deeper and more divine than you can imagine. This is not just about earthly wealth or recognition. This is about purpose, about destiny, about something far beyond what the eye can see or the mind can explain. This individual, known by the world for their abundance in riches and influence, has been stirred by something within, a spiritual force, a divine whisper, an unseen hand guiding their gaze in your direction. You may have felt small, unseen, passed over, but heaven has placed a mark upon your life, and now the world begins to notice. There is something about you that cannot be replicated, something heaven sealed into your spirit before you were even born. It is a divine radiance, a calling, a fragrance of favor that cannot be hidden. You have walked through trials, through times of silence, through moments where even your prayers felt unanswered, but now things are beginning to shift. There has been movement in the realm of influence, and this billionaire's interest in you is not just for business, not just for admiration, it is spiritual. The secret behind their gaze will shock you, for they have seen something in you that reminded them of a long-forgotten dream, a cry they once had, a light they once knew. You were not meant to blend in. Your life was never supposed to be ordinary. You were chosen, selected, divinely positioned to stand out in a time when the world is seeking real light, true integrity, and divine alignment. The interest of this wealthy soul in you is not born from vanity or coincidence, it is born from heaven's orchestration. There are conversations happening about you that you have not heard. There are rooms you have not yet walked into where your name is being mentioned. There is admiration rising from people you never expected to even notice you. And though you may feel overwhelmed or unworthy, this is your season to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. God will be with you, rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you, you are safe, you just have to trust God and pray to Him. Do not allow fear to creep into your soul when the unfamiliar starts to knock at your door. The interest of this billionaire is only the beginning of what heaven is preparing to do in your life. You may ask yourself, why me? But heaven responds, why not you? You have been faithful in little. You have endured much. You have held on to your integrity even when it cost you opportunities. And now, that seed is bearing fruit. There are alignments taking place that will elevate your voice, your vision, your purpose. But don't forget who you are and whose you are. The favor that's about to come isn't so you can boast in self, it is so you can glorify the one who gave you breath. The secret behind this billionaire's sudden attention is not just personal, it's prophetic. You remind them of a time they believed. You stir in them a longing for something they lost. There is something about your presence that calms their storms, something about your spirit that speaks louder than your words. You are carrying an unseen fire, and it is drawing even the most powerful in the world to pause and wonder. This is not about manipulation, and this is not about false promises. This is about divine appointment. Heaven has orchestrated this connection, and what happens next will feel surreal, yet completely ordained. There are blessings about to overtake you, not because of who you know on earth, but because of who you belong to in heaven. This interest may open doors that others have tried for years to break through. But remember, when God is the one who opens the door, no man can shut it. Finally, God is exposing the truth about who you are, and about what your calling truly is. This exposure is not to embarrass or shame, it is to elevate, to position, to fulfill. You have been hidden for a reason. You have been preserved for a time like this. And now, it begins to make sense. Now, what seemed delayed is about to be revealed. The secret will shock you because it is not just about admiration, it is about purpose. That billionaire was led to you because you carry something they lost: faith, sincerity, and a heart anchored in something real. You are a mirror to what they once hoped they'd become. Do not take this lightly. Pray over every conversation, every opportunity. Keep your heart pure, your spirit humble, and your faith alive. Do not be distracted by appearances, focus on purpose. God is doing something through you that will leave many in awe. What once was locked will be opened. What once was withheld will now be freely given. And as the days unfold, you will see how heaven's timing has never been off, not once. This is a message for you. A divine message of hope, preparation, and alignment. Walk boldly now. Do not shrink back. Let your light shine, not so the world can praise you, but so they can see God through you. You are stepping into a season where favor will surround you like a shield. What was hidden will be revealed. What was overlooked will now be celebrated. And yes, what this billionaire sees in you, the world will begin to see too. You are chosen. You are seen. You are ready.